Love? What we, in the world we have changed, call love is very far from the primordial, pure, infinite love of light. This concept is so perverted that it no longer carries a piece of the light of divine love. All-encompassing, unselfish, limitless. What we just do not cover up with this definition. Manipulation, gratitude, affection, sex, loneliness. We all want love. Real, although we do not fully understand the meaning of this word, but we want to. And it is always real, well, or so it seems to us. After a while, we realize that something is wrong. And disappointment comes. But, at the most unexpected moment of life, suddenly, something happens. Everything changes, a new feeling embraces us. When 100% convinced that love does not exist in the world, and even more so, does not exist at first sight, so, at that very moment true love comes. And life began to sparkle with colors again. And everything is fine, if not for the whole set of buts. We mistakenly think that everything cannot be perfect. Moments of happiness do not last. In life, everything repeats itself with a certain frequency. Well, be that as it may, in the end we managed to meet our soulmate. They started a family. Everything is fine, but somehow gray, ordinary. But, we love each other, so everything is fine? Year after year, we break each other's personality, erase everything that we have learned, to which we have gone all our conscious life, criteria, plans, incentives, the truth of life. This is, in a way, violence against the mind, the imposition of someone else's imperfect criteria. And so, we come to the conclusion that everyone closes in their own little world. Uncertainty of the future, unpredictability. There is no love and no confidence in tomorrow, but there is a stable now. And we turn a blind eye to trouble, endure one disappointment after another. We look around us and see that the object of our adoration does not have the qualities that we endowed him with at the initial stage of the relationship. How did we not see this before? Shrouded in a veil of illusions of love, we see what we want to see. We see only the surface shell and do not see the full picture of the world of our chosen one. Since the vibrations of the feeling of falling in love are powerful enough, they overshadow other radiations of human vibrations. It is very difficult to see the full spectrum of its radiation. This does not mean that our chosen one is a bad person, it's just that the frequency of vibrations can coincide on one level, but not on another. As a rule, at the first meeting, in the first 7 seconds, we read the frequency of each other's vibrations. If we record this moment, we will never make a mistake in our choice. But it's so fleeting, so we don't notice it. How to accept the fact that the relationship is over, if it seems that you still feel love and cannot forget? First, you need to make sure that your loved one is not mistaken in his feelings, does not confuse with temporary emotions that are not subject to rational thinking of the brain. After all, the brain is programmed to protect us from trouble, which was created by the ego system. Accordingly, his reaction to circumstances takes place according to the program launched by the system, which turns on automatically. And the feeling of comfort in a certain way of life is often perceived as love, only in a slightly different aspect. Now the expression is often used, there is chemistry between us. Or, no chemistry. And also, the spark flew by, the spark went out. So, what is this chemical compound, love? It is a perfect fusion of two unipolar energy compounds. It is said very accurately about the sparkle. The two corresponding energies combined and a light was lit. This is a sign that the connection is made correctly. There is no light, the poles do not match, or some component is missing. There is no need to connect it only somehow, but somehow. Nothing good will come of it. Sooner or later, the wiring will burn out. It's not about circumstances or others. Initially, a mistake was made, we just wanted it so much. After all, sparks also occur during short circuits. It seems that today in our world there are only short circuits. We are so used to it that it seems to us that it is normal. Indeed, normally. Compliant with the norms, but not perfectly. Or ideally within the framework of earthly ideals. Where is the boundary between normality and madness? How is it that a person does not see the difference in his existence and reality, being on an emotional wave? Why can't he control his emotions? What is life dissatisfaction and why? Where does this feeling come from? Not a desire to understand, first of all, oneself and others. Often, the desire to remake others and the whole world to fit their own standards of the world, instead of looking inside oneself, contributes to the emergence of internal discomfort, dissatisfaction, hopelessness, and, finally, disappointment. It seems that it is difficult, and sometimes impossible, to know oneself. We just need to come to this. We will recognize ourselves, we will understand others. And only then will we meet true love. A person who has accepted and loved himself, in the good sense of the word, who has acquired inner harmony, filled with the bliss of infinite love, carries the vibrations of his light into his environment and learns the real happiness of love, to love and be loved. Like to like. Love unites into one whole, and does not complement each other's gaps, as we mistakenly used to think. More precisely, we were taught to think so. Everyone experienced states of joy in their stomachs. It is commonly called butterflies in the stomach. It is a state of approaching joy of bliss. It always portends good things. Or acquaintance with a loved one. Or this feeling visits after meeting such a person. Why isn't it durable? We need to connect, to dissolve in love as one. Next to each person there must be the right partner, the right one for this particular person. For others, it may not be, but it doesn't matter. After all, this is an ideal fusion of energies for a particular person. How rare is this fusion in our world? We have already come to terms with the fact that everything is not perfect as we are programmed for the program of a non-ideal world. The problem is that from childhood we are taught to think according to prepared patterns, to act in a certain way. And we do not consciously perform certain actions by inertia. We copy the behavior in the relationships of our parents, relatives, acquaintances. We copy the mannerisms we see from television screens. Our programming generates thoughts that take shape. We are all good and deserve the best and, of course, mutual and pure love. Undoubtedly. We know this and try it, gaining experience in the process of approaching the ideal option for creating a prosperous family, a unit of society. The very concept of the cell of society creates the impression that we are creating a family not for ourselves, but for society, and, of course, according to the standards of this very society. And after that, we want to be happy. How can this be, if we initially did not make our choice, as the heart prompted, but succumbed to various types of manipulations, made the right choice for the environment around us? Sorry, but the garbage after this trouble, we rake ourselves. And where is the society at this time, when its support is so necessary? When we think about society, we look around. How what I do looks from the outside. What do others think of my partner? Is he good enough? Calm down, she will never match their ideal parameters 100%, it's impossible. The concept of perfection and ideal is different for everyone and depends on the personal criteria of a person. How we think and act depends on them. If a person has his own world ugly, then he sees only flaws in others. In a perfect world, everything is fine. And do not say that the perfect world does not exist just because your world is not. There is no need to convince us that there is no mutual love. Whoever says this does not know how to love, does not trust, does not appreciate. Blind, stupid, and miserable. It is necessary to put all the manifestations of love together. It's like gathering all the sparks of fire into one fire, but they fly in different directions and never come back. But we like new fires. There is love, and love is only in one variant, infinite love, boundless love of light. We are light, we are love.